Endomassage is one of my most favorite, and the results are just mesmerizing. And you can also influence even on the muscles. More deep approach for the deep tissue massage. Step by step how to start your treatment, the tips and tricks. Hello everyone, welcome back. My favorite subject, and I'm so excited to share everything I know about the Endomassage with you today. So, the Zemits EndoLuxx Pro is one of my most favorite holistic body contouring and facial sculpting device in all the technologies. Why I love it so much? Because there is no contraindication for this technology, because it's feel awesome and the results are just mesmerizing. The Endomassage is the newest type of the deep tissue myofascial release massage that is performed using the mechanical handpiece. It can be either the large one that I'm holding right now, or the small one with more precise type of the tip to target specific skin concerns. Let's start with what it can do, what are the indications, what are expected results. The Endomassage can address cellulite, stiffness in the muscle. If you have a soreness in the muscle, let's say after workout, or the professional sportsman, it can also target the local fatty deposits. It boosts edema, it boosts lymphatic drainage and treats edema so good. So it can depuff the lower limbs. It can be done on the abdomen, on back, to reduce the soreness, also the tightness of the muscles, because it have the specific mechanisms to perform the very intense rotating motions, which creates the friction between the surface of the rollers and the surface of the skin. The friction brings more oxygenated blood to the surface of the skin, warms it up, making it hot and more flexible, I would say. So after that, you are able to go deeper into the more deep skin layers, to the hypodermal layer, and you can also influence even on the muscles. So it's myofascial release, it's cellulite treatment, it's a boosting, the drastic boosting of lymphatic and blood circulation, body contouring, post-lipo, lymphatic drainage, and overall a very holistic wellness approach to maintain the healthy condition of the entire body and the skin. Let's talk about details now. So the EndoLuxx Pro have my favorite Q-motion technology that has the silicone rollers with the small spikes. So this is type of the device that can enable more deep approach for the deep tissue massage. So it's not just superficial lymphatic drainage. You can adjust how deep you want to go, how aggressive you want to go, and if there are some connective tissue fibers which are forming cellulite, you have the beautiful opportunity to target them and remove signs of the cellulite. So this one is the Q-motion silicone spiky technology that have these small bumps on each of the rollers that allows you to go deep into the soft tissues. I'll show you more tips right now. So this device has 4 different tips. The one that I just showed you, the silicone spiky one, the Q-motion, and then 3 other tips, including the metal rollers. And again, the most interesting part is each of the balls are not separated from each other. They are as a united construction, so you have more opportunity to go deep into the skin, applying your pressure, so they will not just twist by themselves. So this one is the metal for more intense compression if you want to go deeper into the muscles. This one is my love, I love it. It's called the Epicentric. This one is made of the medical grade plastic, and it have very unique structure. So instead of having just the symmetric spheres or the globes, it have very special structure of it, and they have the certain twist. So when you are performing it on the skin, they will be kind of pinching the skin between these rollers, making the treatment even more intense. So you're working with the fascia right now, so you'll be able to treat the collagen and elastin formation, making them more elastic, and boost fibroblasts to stimulate neocollagenesis, production of new collagen fibers, to bring the tighter and firmer skin back to the body and skin. And the last one is the most gentle one. So this one is the soft silicone globes, which are rotating individually from each other. So they are the most gentle, more superficial. So I would say if you have someone like new client, you don't want and you don't know how to start your treatment, how aggressive you want to go, you can start with the silicone one. This will be the most gentle one, and then eventually you will probably end up using my favorite which again is the Q-Motion silicone spikes, because this one is the most effective anti-cellulite and myofascial release handpiece. And the cherry on pie is this handpiece. So this handpiece is the small handpiece. You can replace the tips, either the small 3D roller or the larger one. So the whole concept of this handpiece is that instead of rotating as the roller bean, this will give you the flat surface with the high speed vibration. That's why we call it the 3D rollers, and they're perfect for precise treatments of certain skin blemishes or imperfections. Let's say there is one cellulite dimple that you want targetedly addressed to warm it up, to bring the oxygenated blood and to stretch out that collagen fibers that pulls it and create the dimple. So this one will be perfect to use on the body, and they have the magnets inside. So when you will place it, it will just click and hold it in one spot. Or the small one can be used as the very gentle on the very lower rotation speed for the face, neck, and overall just a very superficial gentle lymphatic drainage. Now one more thing, you can replace this tip by unscrewing the portion of it and use this handpiece. So this one will be standard for the EndoLuxx as of the rotating rollers. These are, let me just place it correctly. Okay. These ones are rotating small bits of the silicones in the globe's shape, and they will help also to do very superficial, very light micro vibration lymphatic drainage massage. You can do it on hands, you can do it on forehead, on the double chin, or overall on the facial area if you would prefer to do a very light treatment. If you want to go more intense and you want to achieve more visual results right away, I would strongly recommend you to use the 3D or the 3D precisely on the body. Let's do the treatment. Can't wait to share it with you. So in order to proceed to your treatment, you would need a couple of elements, including the massage oil. I'm using the Dazzle Skin Massage Oil specifically with the spiky silicone Q-Motion handpiece. So for this one, I need some extra gliding surface in order to glide over the treatment area. If you choose to start with one of other 3 rollers, you can do it either with or without the oil. I would highly recommend to do it on the bare skin with no oil, because we do want to create the friction between the rollers and the skin. The more friction we have, the more blood supply we will stimulate to come through arterial capillaries to the surface of the skin, the more beautiful outcomes we will receive. If your clients are very sensitive or they have dry skin and you don't want to be too aggressive, you always can do it with the oil. It's still fine. Just remember, the oil will make it less intense. Okay, so I will be applying the oil on the calf area as well on the thigh area, and I will show you step by step how to start your treatment, how much of the pressure to apply, and also what might be the tips and tricks to make even more effective and more interesting treatment. So applying the oil, making sure you deliver it and apply evenly on all the area to be treated. The beautiful part is that EndoLuxx can be performed even on this part of the knee, because there is no vacuum suction, so you're not pulling it, you're pressing. Just make sure that you're not applying too much of pressure. So as soon as the oil is on the skin, I can turn on the system, and I will also recommend you after what settings to use. The rotation can be adjusted either one side or another one. Always make sure it follows lymphatic flow direction. So I will be holding it this way, and pretty much it will move by itself. So without my pressure, the device can just move on the lymphatic flow direction, starting from the bottom to the top. So this direction is perfect for this area. Now, to do the treatment, you can stand. I would recommend you to go on the side to be treated, so you can have less pressure on your lower back while bending. That I will just show to you for the video. So you start from the lower part with the light pressure. Coming back, and a couple more rounds. I want to share with you a couple of more secrets while doing the treatment on the calves areas. Make sure you are started with the lower pressure, because pretty much the speed of motion is not that important of how much pressure you add to this tissue. On the calf specifically, these parts of the leg have lots of tendons, and it's usually really edematosis or really stasis. So you would have a little bit more sensitivity on this area, and clients might feel a little bit more discomfort compared to the other areas in the body. So what I usually do, I would spend more time on warming up this tendons area. This is the area where muscles are connected with other tissues, and the tendons are the most sensitive area. So start with less pressure and stay longer. So you warm this area faster, and then you'll have the beautiful outcomes after. Why we want to spend enough quality time on the calves? Because calves are our pumps to boost venous blood flow from the lower limbs up towards the heart. So I do want, for the healthy reasons, I want to stimulate the calves and make them healthy again. So I want to reduce all the puffiness, I want to flush the edema, and I want to boost, besides just the blood circulation, I do want to boost lymphatic flow, because I want this area to be naturally operating and helping our own venous blood circulation to pump the blood up towards the heart. So for this area, I would just do a couple of repeated motions on the tendons part. And if you can see, I'm doing this motion, so I'm just not following one direction. I'm going back and forth, kind of stimulating and focusing on one specific area to accelerate the blood and lymphatic drainage here. Feels fine or a little bit sensitive? So as soon as your client will get used to this type of pressure, you will be able to add a little bit more. The longer the stroke, the more intense your treatment will be. When you're just focusing on smaller parts, you're kind of warming up gradually, step by step. So in order to warm up, I would prefer to do short motions on the small area, and then when everything is pink, and this is the sign of hyperemia, which is also warm on touch, with a beautiful sign that arterial blood came to the surface of the skin. So now I can apply a little bit more of the pressure, and if you can see it even on my hands and arms, I'm applying the pressure on it, but I'm using the weight of my torso. So I'm pretty much just standing on top of this area, and it's not just my arms, it's more my weight towards this area. So again, if you want to warm up, just short twisting motions. If you want to do intense treatment, just go with the pressure all the way up. If your clients feel it uncomfortable, always have the feedback so you can adjust how much pressure you want to perform. If you can see, my rollers are rotating pretty quick. This is 70% of the rotation speed. I would start anywhere from 50% and then eventually do more and more. I am familiar with this skin type and this client particularly, so I'm starting with 70. Eventually, within treatments, I will be able to add more, all the way to the 100%. 70 would be perfect for this type of the young skin that tolerates greatly to this type of the treatment. Moving higher, you can apply a couple of motions on the area behind the knee with no pressure. Be super, super, super gentle. You just want to activate blood lymphatic circulation here in the most gentle way. So if you can see, I'm not applying pressure at all, but due to the fact that the handpiece is pretty heavy, it have a little bit of compression. You see it's getting pink, which is great. But due to the fact that I have the oil, it helps to glide. So I'm not too aggressive for the skin. Following the same logic, I'm doing it now on the thigh area, moving from the bottom to the top. And again, if you want to warm up the skin first, you can do the shorter motions. When you see the slight hyperemia after the initial warming up step that can take you anywhere from 1 to 2 minutes just to have this beautiful pinkness, then you can apply a little bit more pressure. So now you can apply a bit more pressure. I changed my positioning, now I'm closer to the body, so I can use the weight of my body to move the handpiece. Again, make sure that you're holding the handpiece the way that it moves toward lymphatic flow from the bottom to the top. So now I will be doing this. with a little bit more pressure, and you can see how the skin gets pinker every time I'm changing the location, you see? This is the beautiful, healthy sign of the very holistic hyperemia. So it shows you that the blood circulation is improved, lymphatic drainage is being activated, and it's also a little bit of stress to the skin. So what I'm doing stressfully is that I'm compressing the fascia and I'm performing the myofascial release, because I'm applying now, besides the rotation motions, I have the pressure of my body. So I will help fascia to become more elastic and to boost fibroblasts to produce more collagen and elastin fibers. Now I want to show you guys how to make sure that you are covering the entire area to be treated, not just the back side of the thigh, but you also want to go to the inner thigh, and you have a couple of options. You can either ask your client to spread the legs a bit wider so you have access to the internal surface, or then we will be twisting them on the bed and I will show you how to do it, so you have access to different sides of the thigh, lower back and other areas of the body. So right now I'm doing it from the positioning face down. I will reduce a little bit of intensity of the rotation speed from 70 to a bit less. I'll do 50 because the inner thigh area is much more sensitive, and besides the fact it's gonna be less speed, I will apply less pressure because I want to go gradually, because of the connective tissues. They're a little bit more, I would say, sensitive and fragile, so I want to be really gentle on the inner thigh. So start making sure it rotates in the proper direction. And you can do this. Less speed and less compression, but still it's very intense. It feels comfortable though, right? So it shouldn't be any painful sensation. As soon as your client is raising their hands or saying that it's a little bit pinchy or painful or too much, you should reduce the pressure and you should reduce the intensity. Rather do it longer but more gradually. Start slower and more gentle, and then eventually increase the pressure, the compression and the speed. When you are doing it gradually, it feels completely fine and it's really natural for the body. When you start with the high intensity and high pressure, then it might be traumatic and painful. While we're still on the leg portion, and I just treated both legs, they are warm and they are very with accelerated blood lymphatic flow. So I see the erythema, which is beautiful, hyperemia, I see the pinkness, I can touch the warmness. Now I want to target specific areas of concern, specifically cellulite dimples on the most common areas of formation. So I changed the handpiece. I'm using the small one with the large 3D roller. Make sure that on your screen you will change the handpiece from the large to the 3D. Doing this, you would need to go to the main menu, select the small handpiece, adjust the speed, make sure for the body it's high. I usually start from 70 to 80%, making sure it's pretty intense, and then hit start. And this is what will happen. So with this treatment, you would need to precisely place this handpiece and hold it almost on one spot. So it looks like not really a big deal, just rotating, but on the soft tissues, it will do a very holistic magic by kind of boosting the natural skin response, by boosting the fibroblasts to produce new collagen, and also triggering the cellulite to remove the signs of the cellulite formation. So if you can see, I am applying a pressure with my right hand, and my left hand is simply kind of like a backup, so I'm securing the leg from it. But you also can see how vibration is going from the central portion to all the area. Micro vibrations are beautiful sign that all the systems are connected and you are performing the influence on all of the layers of the skin. It's not just the epidermal or dermal layer of the skin, it's also fascia, it's also hypodermal layer of the skin, and it's also muscles. So you are right now precisely stimulating the areas of the most common cellulite formation on the back thigh, almost standing, I would say, on one spot. So this is the normal situation. This is how it looks with the intense 3D micro vibration massage. It's pretty mesmerizing to understand that you can change the structure and improve the structure of the skin with a 100% holistic approach. Just after a couple of minutes of treatment, you can see that the skin getting hot, which is the sign of the friction between the rollers and the skin. Beautiful, beautiful example of how your body can respond with the improved blood circulation. Moving forward to the next area, which is the back. We can do the lower back, we can do arms, we can do shoulders. What are the indications? The EndoLuxx deep tissue Endomassage you can perform either for the entire body, which is much more classical way to proceed, or you can do areas by area. So if your clients have more specific issues, let's say cellulite on the lower limbs, you can spend the entire treatment time on only the lower limbs, completely fine. So you can just do the lower body. Or let's say if you have someone with the sore muscle, with the trigger points on the back, you can focus only on the upper body. If you want to provide the entire treatment, you can do the whole body. But the main indications to do it on the upper part of the body would be the lower back, same concept. If you have edema or swollenness on this area, or there are some local fatty deposits that your clients want to be addressed, or you want to tighten skin, you want to bring more firm skin, let's say after pregnancy, or let's say after your client just lose weight and they want to tighten the skin a little bit in the holistic, natural way, then you can do it on the lower back on the sides. You can also work on the paravertebral muscles that are going right next to the spine. You should never do the treatment right on the spine area right here, so you can go from one side or another side. Beautiful, beautiful results is shown to be treated on the area of shoulders to remove and reduce the stuffiness and also decrease the pain points from the trigger points. You can also treat arms in this position, or when your client will be laying on their back facing up, also hands can be treated. You would also need the massage oil if you're using the spiky silicone roller, which is my favorite. That's why I will show it this treatment also on the spiky rollers, or you can use any of 3 other type of the rollers if you want less deep treatment. Okay, so let's apply a little bit of oil and I'll show you the technique. Same idea. You start with low pressure, low speed, and then gradually you will adjust how much pressure you add with the weight of your body. The more pressure, the deeper you go, the more aggressive the treatment will be, and eventually the more effective it will be. The longer you stay in one spot, the more heat you are able to accumulate, the more, let's say, smart this treatment protocol will be. So focus on area by area, and then you can work through the entire treatment area. And also the speed of the rollers, which is selected on the device. Start with 50 approximately, and then gradually add more and more and more. The higher the speed, the more pressure, the more intense your treatment will be. So for the lower back right here, I would select intensity and the speed of the rotation on the 50 first. I will start with 50 and then gradually I will add more and more and more. So I would need to select the speed, then decrease it to 50. Here is my handpiece. I also always need to make sure the directions how the rollers are rotating. I need to move from top to bottom. So now I'm directing the flow into the pelvic area where lymphatic nodes are located. From hands, from arms, I will be directing towards the underarm area to the closest lymphatic nodes. So as soon as I'm ready, hit start. It rotates in this way. So to test the rotation would be easy. You just place it going up. So I would need to pause it, change the rotation, hit start. Now it's working into my right here. So what I want to do, I want to focus on this area first, very superficially, just a short motions. You can adjust also the area, how much of the open area you want to be treated. And just short strokes, focusing on this specific area with no pressure first. You're just warming up the superficial layers of the skin on the light speed. You can do either linear motions or you can do a little bit of the circular motions. The rollers are moving still in the same direction. Couple of minutes to warm up, and then you would see the skin is getting pink, which is the beautiful reaction of the blood capillaries. So you can fast, adjust intensity, the speed of vibrations. I would do 70 from 50. Hit start. Awesome. So with this type of motions, you can apply a little bit more pressure on this area. Just comfortable. Choose the location, positioning of yourself towards the table. I would prefer to be on that side so you won't hit your lower back too much, so you don't need to bend. So for that reasons, I would just go ahead and go that side to have a better access to that area. Moving forward to the front side of your client's body, I would perform the treatment on the front side of the thigh as well as on the thigh, on the side, and then I will ask you to bend this leg this way. So you bend it in the knee and place it a little bit diverse. So you have opened the inner thigh and you will be able to treat this area, okay? So you would need to use again the massage oil for your spiky silicone roller. If you're using one of three others, either no oil for more deep treatment or a little bit of oil if you want to be a little bit more gentle. Just a little bit of oil, evenly spread through all the treatment area. Make sure you apply it also around the knees, because this area really thirsts for the treatment, because it has a lot of signs of fibrotic and sclerotic changes within years. My client is young, so she's fine, but still the more stimulation you'll have in this area, the younger your client's legs will look within years. Same concept, starting with less pressure, just to introduce this treatment first to your client, introduce the potential sensitivity. Now focusing on the smaller areas and working area by area. When you have the nice pink reaction of the skin, you can now apply a little bit more pressure. Make sure you are not doing it too much, so you always have the feedback from your client. If they feel it uncomfortable or painful, reduce the pressure and proceed the way they can tolerate it. Now the inner thigh area, in order to get to this area of the skin, when you do want to stimulate this neocollagenesis and improve blood lymphatic circulation, you would need to ask your client to bend the leg and twist it on the side. So this area will be open for you. Make sure you are not applying too much of a pressure. You can use better higher speed of rotation but less pressure, because this area is pretty sensitive. But the logic of the treatment is the same. You start with the lower, eventually gradually increase either speed or pressure, better speed, apply a little bit of oil, start with lower parts and move towards the following lymphatic directions towards the pelvic area where all the lymph nodes are. So I will apply the oil and show you how to do it. Just a little bit of pressure. I pretty much just hold in the hand piece. The hand piece is heavy by itself, so you don't need to press additionally. So in this case, you can either stay longer on one spot, making the rollers do its magic by rotating, or you can do the circular motions or this twisting motion in one area. So the idea is to stimulate increased blood lymphatic flow and to remove sclerotic fascia, like more static fascia, making sure that you are stretching it, making sure that you are stimulating elasticity of both collagen elastin and also fascia by itself. I also want to share with you guys what might be another position of your client on the treatment bed, so you know what areas you can address. So for example, if your client will be on the side, I have the areas open of the back area of the thigh on the side. I also have another leg open fully in the inner thigh. So I just treated this leg from the positioning, bending the knee. Now I have deeper access to this area. I'll show you a quick treatment how to do this area with more focusing on inner thigh area, and then how to treat also the back and the side of the thigh. Following, again, always the same logic. You should follow lymphatic flow direction starting from the knees, for example, in this case, and moving towards the pelvic area. Oil or no oil, based on your preference, based on the client's sensitivity. One of 4 types of the rollers that comes in set with your device, and also speed and pressure. Start with lower speed, lower pressure, gradually add it while you go, while you see the reaction and response from the skin. A little bit of oil here, a little bit of oil here. So now I have this area open, so this is beautiful to address the inner thigh. Again, make sure you're not applying too much of a pressure because this area is very sensitive. So use the weight of the handpiece, either long strokes or more twisting or circular motions on one side, focusing on the specific areas of concerns. You can also visually see the micro vibrations that goes through all the neighbor soft tissues, which again is a beautiful sign that you are activating all the healing features of the body. Now I want to show you the side. Same idea, start lower and then you're gradually rolling up. Might be a little bit sensitive right here on the joint because all the muscles are above, and I can have a little bit more pressure than I should on the joint. So if you feel uncomfortable, tell me, okay? You start low and then gradually going up. First, very superficially, just to warm up this skin area. If you want to apply more pressure, then I would recommend you to go on that side from the client and apply the pressure with the weight of your torso, which I will do right now. From this position, I can use the weight of my own body to apply a little bit more pressure when needed. So I'm not tiring my hands and my arms. So I would rather use the weight of my own body to apply a little bit more pressure. Same logic. On the abdomen area, make sure you have enough layer of the oil and make sure you don't apply too much of pressure because this is the cavity. You need to be gentle. When working on arms, make sure not to apply too much of pressure. Your client may find it very sensitive when you are doing it on the triceps area. This is usually more sensitive rather than the back area. And then when you're moving closer to the underarm area, again, make sure you are not applying too much pressure. Pretty much just use the weight of the handpiece to do the treatment. I hope you like this, guys. If you have any questions, please comment below. Let us know what other treatment protocol would you like us to share with you. We'll see you in the next video.